Hello, this is Discover Yoruba platform where we talk about everything Yoruba, from the Yoruba language and culture to passive income earning and food science in Yoruba. Our topic today is fermented foods pertinent to the Yoruba people and the Yoruba culture. Before we dive into the fermented foods that are pertinent to the Yoruba people and culture, let's have an overview of the history of fermentation. Man's intentional fermentation of foods predates written history and may be even the oldest method of preserving perishable foods. Evidence suggests that fermented foods were consumed in Babylon 7,000 years ago. Scientists believe that our forefathers discovered fermentation by accident and continue to use it out of preference or necessity. Fermented foods are typically made from animal or plant ingredients combined with bacteria or fungi sourced from the environment or carefully kept in cultures maintained by humans. Like living things cover the Earth's surface, fermentation microbes do the same for living things. In addition to bacteria lining the human digestive tract, wild yeasts have also been discovered to be living on grapes. All over the world, people include fermented foods, either plant-based or animal-based, in their diets. Every country has distinctive varieties of fermented food, reflecting the local staple diet and raw material availability. Fermented food is essential in developing countries' socio-economics. Therefore, fermentation significantly contributes to the protein needs of the rural population. Many traditional fermented foods and drinks still require a certain level of skill to be prepared. The conversion of sugars and other carbohydrates to usable end products is the primary benefit of fermentation. Traditional food fermentation serves several purposes, such as diet enhancement through the development of flavor, aroma, and texture in food substrates. It is also a means of preservation and shelf life extension through lactic acid, alcohol, acetic acid, and alkaline fermentation. Lastly, fermentation aids food quality enhancement through protein, vitamins, essential amino and fatty acids. This provides digestibility, nutrient availability, and detoxification. In summary, fermentation gives flavor, preserves our food, and enhances our nutritional diet. Now let us go to the fermented foods pertinent to the Yoruba people and culture. Firstly, we have fermented tubers, and this mainly includes cassava and yam, which are used to produce foods such as gari, fufu, lafun, elubo-isu, and so on. Gari is a creamy white granular flour made from fermented gelatinized fresh cassava tubers with a slightly sour flavor. Fufu is a fermented white paste made from cassava that ranks right behind gari. For 3 days, fufu is made by steeping peeled cassava roots in water. In this process, fermentation lowers the pH, softens the roots, and aids in the reduction of potentially toxic cyanogenic compounds. Lafun is a fibrous powdery form of cassava similar to fufu. The traditional preparation of lafun differs from that of fufu in that fresh cassava roots are cut into chunks and steeped for 3 to 4 days, and usually until the roots become soft. The fermented roots are peeled and broken into small pieces before being sun-dried on mats, flat rocks, senior floors, or house roofs. The dried bits are then grounded into flour. Secondly, we have fermented cereals. Cereals such as maize, sorghum, millet, and acha, amongst others, are used to make gruels, which are used as a complementary food for babies and as breakfast for adults. Ogi, pap, akamu, or cocoa made from maize, millet, or guinea corn are examples of traditional fermented foods in Nigeria. It is a staple cereal of the Yoruba people and the first native food given to babies when they are born. It is made by soaking corn grains in warm water for 1 to 2 days, then wet milling and sieving through a screen mesh. The sieved material is fermented and allowed to sediment before being marketed as wet cake wrapped in leaves or packages. Another example of fermented foods we have fruits and vegetables. Ogiri is a condiment made from fermented castor oil seeds. The raw castor oil seed is boiled for 2 hours or until it turns brown. The seeds are unloaded and rinsed in clean water. The boiled seeds are boiled for an additional hour. It is then cooled and wrapped in enough banana leaves to ferment at room temperature in a clean container and with a cover. Lastly, we have legumes, and legumes such as locust beans, African oil beans, and soya beans like iru. Iru is among the essential food condiments in Yoruba land and many West and Central African countries. It is used similarly to bouillon cubes, which are used in the Western world as nutritious flavoring additives, alongside cereal grain sauce, and may serve as a meat substitute. Iru is made from the seeds of African locust beans, which are high in fat and protein. In many West and Central African countries, it contributes significantly to energy intake, protein, and vitamins, particularly riboflavin. Several other fermented foods are common to the people of Nigeria. If you would like to read more, kindly click the link in the description box. In the meantime, we'll see you next time in our upcoming video. Thank you for watching.